All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Mahabakwadash, Yahweh, which is the one true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, because those are the men who I've learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashimashai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. And shalom to you, sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the servants of Yahweh, Why Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. And pretty much this lesson is going to be titled as your skin doesn't determine if you're an Israelite. All right. Your skin doesn't determine if you're an Israelite, because you got a lot of Israelites out there, a lot of Jakes out there that have the doctrine that Israelites are only Negro descent. And you got to be dark skinned. You got to be black to be a Hebrew Israelite, a so-called black man. All right. And we know there's no such thing as black people. All right. Now the Israelites, all right, we're different shades of brown. All right. We go to a high pale skin color all the way down to a dark skin color. It doesn't matter about skin color. It doesn't actually matter about, phenotype, because that's what a lot of these Jakes is doing. Oh, he's too white to be an Israelite. Oh, he got blonde hair. He got this. He got that. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's not an Israelite because of his skin tone or the texture of his hair. So we're going to prove in the scriptures that the Israelites are scattered abroad. You got speckled birds. You got Israelites out there that look like a heathen, but they're Israelite. Their father is of a so-called Negro, Hispanic, Native American Indian. So, Lord willing, we're going to prove that your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father. All right. Lord willing, let's edify. Numbers 1:18. And they assembled all the congregation together, right, on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families. What is pedigrees? All right. That word pedigrees. Let me get it right here. Salakia. I don't know why it's doing this. Salakia. Pedigree. It says the record of descent of an animal showing it to be purebred. The second meaning, the recorded ancestry, especially upper class ancestry of a person or family. So the pedigree is lineage, descend, who you descend from. Lineage. It says a lineal descent from an ancestry or pedigree. So your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father. It says the origin or background of a person in terms of family or nationality. See? So your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father. So whatever your father is what you are. It doesn't matter about your mother. Your father determines your nationality. Salakia. Your father determines your nationality. Numbers 1:18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families. See, they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. See, so your nationality is determined by the seed line of your father. It says, according to the number of names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So your nationality is determined by your father, the seed line of your father. All right. So if your mother is a so-called white woman and your daddy is a so-called Negro, then you are a Negro. You are Judite. All right. You're a so-called Negro. If your father is a Native American Indian and your mother is a different nationality or a different race, you still what your father is. There's no such thing as half this, half that. Your nationality is determined by the seed of your father. All right. Numbers 1:16. That means 1 Samuel 16:7. Salakia. 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature. Because you got Israelite groups out there. Oh, you're white. You're Edomite. They just automatically just pointing a finger. Oh, you're not black. You're Edomite. See, but you don't want to be the type of individual to throw an accusation out calling somebody a heathen. And then they tell you, oh, my father is a Negro. And then you tell them, no, they're not. And then they pull a picture out and then they show you what their dad is. And then you looking stupid. So you don't never want to throw wrong gestures out at anybody. You always got to try the spirit, like the scriptures say. You always got to try the spirit, because the Israelites were scattered abroad. The Lord discontinued us from our heritage. So you can't judge on the individual. Well, he got blonde hair, blue eyes, and freckles. You don't know if you don't know if his father is a Gadite, which is a so-called Native American. You don't know if his father is Puerto Rican. You don't know if his father's a Negro. You don't know if his father's Hispanic. You don't know if his father's Dominican. You don't know. So you can't just judge on the outward appearance. That's what the Lord is telling us to Samuel. So it's the same thing for us. We can't just say, well, you're not an Israelite because you got freckles, you got blonde hair, you got blue eyes. You don't know if he's an Israelite or not, because he could be an Israelite. That's why you got to go by the Spirit. The Spirit beareth witness. All right. It says, or the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as men seeth, right? For men looketh on the outward appearance. You got these other Israelite groups that's judging. Well, if you're not black, because they throw the black thing out there, which there's no such thing as black people. We're just different shades of brown. But you got Jakes out there. Well, you're not black. You're not dark. Your skin ain't dark. Israelites only Negroid descent, and you're going off. Because when we read Numbers 1 and 18, our nationality is determined by the seed line of our fathers. You got Israelites that popped and slept with heathen women and had kids with them. So you got Israelites that look like heathen, right? They look like heathens, but they Israelites. So you can't judge off of the outward appearance. All right. Because I have refused him, for the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for men looketh on the outward appearance. And that's what you got these other Israelite groups doing. Oh, you're not an Israelite because you're not dark enough, brother. You got blonde hair, blue eyes. You a heathen. You can't do that. You got to go by the Spirit. It says, but the Lord looketh on the heart. Right. The Lord looketh on the Spirit. The Spirit beareth witness. Am I right? Don't the Spirit bear witness? Romans 8 and 16. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit. So if an individual, he may not look like an Israelite. All right. He may not look like an Israelite. He may look like a heathen. But if he's willing to do the works of the Lord, and he wants to praise the Lord and seek the Lord, and he wants to go out on the highways and byways, and he wants to learn this truth, he could be an Israelite through the Spirit, because the Spirit bear witness. He may look like a heathen, but he could be an Israelite because his father. Because only an Israelite is going to want to go out and teach. Only an Israelite is going to come and seek the Lord and call upon his name and worship the Lord Yahweh Shemashai and want to do the works. Only an Israelite going to do that. A heathen ain't going to do that. A heathen ain't going to admit that the Messiah is a so-called Negro and he died for the Israelites. No heathen is going to do that. Only an Israelite going to do that. So that's why, again, at the end of the day, we can't judge on the outward appearance. All right. We got to go by the Spirit, because we discontinue from our heritage. And let me get that out. The Lord discontinued us from our heritage. Didn't he not do that? Let's get out that Jeremiah 17 and 4. Because we broke the old covenant. Remember, we broke the old covenant. This is Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. Because we have a heritage. We don't have a religion. That word religion means to divide and conquer. All right. We have a heritage. All right. Which was given from Father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is our heritage. The Bible is our heritage. It's our history of our forefathers. Passed down, given down. We have a heritage. We don't have a religion. Right. It says that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies. Who are our enemies? These 17 heathen nations, starting from Esau on down. But the Israelites are scattered abroad amongst these 17 heathen nations. And you have the Israelite men that slept with these heathen nations and had kids with them. So now you got Israelites out there that look like heathens, but they Israelites. And I'm going to give an example of what I'm talking about right now in a minute. But the Lord scattered us abroad amongst these heathens because we broke the old covenant. We didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments. It says, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies. And this is one of the curses that the Lord put upon us. Serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. See, gone. So the Lord discontinued us from our heritage for being disobedient. But now, us Israelites were scattered abroad. So you got the Israelites, and you got the speckled birds. You got the Israelites out there that look like heathens. All right. You can't just say, "Oh, he's not an Israelite because he's not dark. He don't have dark skin. He don't have no melanin. He's an Edomite." You don't know. He could be an Israelite. That's why you got to go by the Spirit. And we can use some examples because you got a lot of jakes that just push that Israelites only Negro descent. So you must be saying that Rehoboam wasn't an Israelite because Rehoboam was an Israelite. His father was Solomon. And was he not king of Jerusalem? Was he not king in Jerusalem? Let's prove that, right? Because Rehoboam's mother was an Ammonitess, which was what? A so-called Japanese woman, if she was the one on the earth today. All right. But Rehoboam's father was Solomon. And he was what? He was a Judite, which is a so-called Negro. So you can prove this in the scriptures. You had Israelite men that slept with heathen women and had kids with them. 1 Kings 14 and 21. And Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah, right? He was king in Jerusalem. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, right? So you can just imagine how Rehoboam looked. He probably had a little bit of features. He probably had features of his mother, but he still was an Israelite. Just imagine. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. See? And his mother wasn't an Israelite though. It says to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, and an Ammonites. And an Ammonite is what? A so-called Japanese person. So Rehoboam's mother, if she was the one on earth today, she'll be taught as a Japanese woman, right? And Rehoboam's father was a Judite, which was a Negro, a so-called Negro. So just imagine that, how Rehoboam looked. If you look at it has Esau. Well, I'll use Esau's title. If you look at a so-called Negro man with a Japanese woman and look at their kid has like an olive tone color, but you can still see the features of they be like some, the features of a Japanese person. You can see that they have features of a Japanese person, but they have they have an olive tone to them. So that you can just imagine how Rehoboam looked. So, it's all through the scriptures. Let's look at Moses' woman. Moses' woman wasn't an Israelite. This is Exodus 22 and 22. It says, and she shall bear him a son, talking about Moses, and called his name Gershom. Because what? Moses' wife was an Ethiopian, right? She was an Ethiopian. She wasn't an Israelite. This is Exodus 2 and 22. It says, and she shall bear him a son, and he called his name Gershom, right? Moses' son's name was Gershom. It says, for he said, I have been a stranger in a land. So we're going to prove that Moses' woman was an Ethiopian. She wasn't an Israelite, right? And Miriam and Moses was Miriam and Aaron, Salakia, was speaking against Moses, talking bad about him because his woman wasn't an Israelite. And that's when the Lord stricken Miriam with leprosy, because she was speaking bad on Moses' wife being an Ethiopian and not an Israelite. This is Numbers 12 and 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. Because Moses' wife Zephra was an Ethiopian. She was not an Israelite, right? It says whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. So she wasn't an Israelite. But Moses' son was an Israelite, because Numbers 1 and 18. So you had Israelites that had kids with heathen women. They slept with heathen women. Prophets in the Bible, they slept with heathen women and had kids with them. Even Father Abraham, right? Father Abraham, his woman was an Egyptian. Yes, he had Sarah, but he slept with an Egyptian and had Ishmael. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. Exodus 2 and 22. And she bare him a son, and called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And Moses' son Gershom was an Israelite. Now his woman was not an Israelite, but Gershom, his son, was an Israelite, because he come from Moses. He descended from Moses. All right. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. Now I'm gonna give you an example. Now Blake Griffin, if you look at Blake Griffin, this is when he played for the Clippers. He don't play for the Clippers no more. But Blake Griffin, he's an Israelite. Now, if you look at Blake Griffin, you see he don't look like an Israelite. He looks more like, he looks like an Edomite, but he's not an Edomite, right? His daddy is a Haitian. Blake Griffin's daddy is a Haitian, all right? And what is a Haitian according to the Bible? The tribe of Levi, right? So Blake Griffin, he's an Israelite, and his mother is an Edomite. So you had Israelites that slept with heathen women and had kids with them. So you got speckled birds out there that look like Blake Griffin. Now, this isn't just the only thing. When you look at Blake Griffin's son, right? And we're going to show you Blake Griffin's son. Now Blake Griffin's father, we proved that he's a Haitian, right? Now look at Blake Griffin's son. Because you got Israelites that look like this. Now this is Blake Griffin's son right here. I'm going to get a good picture of his son. Now this is Blake Griffin's son. Look at his son. His son got blonde hair. But his son is an Israelite. How is his son an Israelite? Because of Blake Griffin's father. So you got Israelites that look like Blake Griffin and that look like his son. His son is an Israelite. His son got blonde hair, right? But his son is an Israelite. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. You got people that's judging on the outward appearance. Look at Blake Griffin's son. This is Blake Griffin's son. He got blonde hair. His son got blonde hair. If you look at his father, it goes back to what? A so-called Negro man. Blake Griffin's daddy is a Haitian. So Blake Griffin's daddy's a Haitian, then Blake Griffin is a Haitian, and his son is a Haitian. So you got Israelites that look like Blake Griffin's son. So you can't, this is why, again, you can't judge on the outward appearance. So if you see an Israelite that look like him, just imagine teaching, and he grows up and get older, and a Jake is teaching a word, and he tells him, oh, you're not an Israelite. But he can tell you, well, my grandfather is a Haitian. Would you gonna turn him away because he looked like that? He could pull a picture out and show you that his grandfather is a Haitian, which goes back to him. Look at Blake Griffin's dad. So Blake Griffin's son got blonde hair, got blonde hair, right? And then it goes back to Blake Griffin. He's the second generation, and then it goes back. So you got Israelites that's like this, speckled birds. So you can't judge on the outward appearance. You can't judge on the outward appearance. You cannot judge on the outward appearance. This is Blake Griffin's dad. Blake Griffin's dad is a Haitian. So again, you can't judge on the outward appearance, and you can't determine who's an Israelite by their skin color, by their phenotypes. You can't do that. The spirit beareth witness. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Yahweh Kakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you, sincere brother scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth, sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the servant of Yahweh Yahweh Shai Camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Till next time I say, shalom.